Koto, and welcome to South Pacific Muscle. Got an exciting one today because, fuck, the Olympia. I've got my magazine. It's 4 years old, but there's a few superstars in there. Anyway, the Olympia's coming. It's going to cap off what's been a real fucked up year, but it's really cool that they're managing to pull the Olympia off, and obviously you had to shift locations, and I think most people from a business perspective would have went, oh, let's can it, but they were going ahead, which is really cool, and the lineup is stacked as fuck, so really looking forward to it. So tonight is the amateur hour, so the amateurs are going to have a crack at it, and then later in the week the pros are going to have a go at their top six, and we'll see who comes out on top. So tonight, joining me, I have got Aiden Theedom. So Aiden is from Hastings and trains at Flex Fitness. So welcome, Aiden. Good to have you here, bro.
Awesome, mate. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man. And we've got Andrew coming from Melbourne, all the way from Melbourne. So,
hey, guys. Yep.
What do we say? A Brit via Auckland via Melbourne?
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Cool. No, it's good to have you, man. And
yeah, likewise.
Obviously, we've got Mike on board, and the most popular man in New Zealand bodybuilding, Darren Dingle. Good to have you, Darren.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. I don't know about that, but yeah, great to be on to talk some bodybuilding.
Oh, that's really cool, man, because we've had you're obviously a really positive guy. We've had some really cool feedback from other athletes on you, so it's good to have you here, man. And on that note, given your status, we're going to get you to help us draw the first of our winners of the two crates. It was crate day yesterday. Anyone do a crate?
Not great.
Crate's done. A crate of chicken and a crate of rice is about it. So we're going to get Aiden to do the draw for the two crates of Bang, and then we'll do one coming up next week. So Aiden, I've got 291 comments. So I think if you just tell me how many times to scroll, and I'll pick the name in the middle of my screen.
3 times, mate.
Three times it is. 1, 2.
While he's doing that, shout out to Shane at Nutrition Systems. Thanks for the hookup.
Massive
Few
Shane.
supplements through Shane if you can. Support the people who support us.
Sean B Fitness, you bang smack in the middle, man. So I'll message you afterwards, but if you flick us a DM, we'll get that bang energy off to you. So well done, Sean B. Right, down to business. I'm going to bring up a bit of a quick skim of the classic bodybuilding and the 212s, and we'll make some comments on that before we get into the open men's bodybuilding. Right, so the Olympia weekend coming right at us. So the lineup for the Classic this year, fuck, look at all the athletes in there, man. Massive lineup.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. Nuts, eh? So got some names in there that people will recognise. Obviously, Chris and Breon, the two that everyone's talking about. Danny Hester, former title holder, I believe. Maybe the initial. Terence Ruffin's another one that is on people's, agendas of people talking about him. Who else we got there? A few other names there, Logan Franklin, etc. So I guess this is what everyone's talking about. Talking about Breon versus Chris. Chris Bumstead, obviously the defending Mr Olympia in the Classic, and apparently he's done some pretty good work over the off season. As has Breon. So if anyone's seen the latest photos of Breon, absolutely off the hook. What we might do is drop back to our other screen. So I'll just stop sharing for a second. Right, thoughts on the Classic. Aiden, you want to kick off?
Oh, I think, for me, looking at Breon's updates, he is looking ridiculously peeled. Some of those photos and updates, man, are just unreal. But for me, if I had to pick, for some reason, I've still got to go Chris. I think there's just something special about the way he looks, eh? Just the stature and just that shape, man. I just can't see Chris getting knocked off, eh? With how he looks, how he's built. I reckon he's got it, man.
Nice. Your thoughts there, Andrew?
Yeah, pretty much the same, I'd say. Yeah, Breon's looking pretty good at the moment. I don't follow that many Classic guys, but yeah, Breon, latest photographs. But yeah, Chris has probably got the height, maybe, that more Classic look. But yeah, we'll obviously we'll wait and see. But yeah, my pick is Chris.
Yeah, down to me. It was by 1 point to Breon 2 years ago, and it was by 1 point to Chris last year. So they're real close. But it seems to me, it feels like they're kind of going in that Chris Bumstead direction. Breon looks like a bodybuilder who fits the weight class, more like a heavyweight athlete, but just shrunk down. Whereas Chris looks more like he's got those classic lines. So I think that's the direction they're wanting to sort of push people and push the look. So I think I'll go with Chris again this year too.
Darren.
Yeah, I reckon Chris is going to win again. I've been following it quite closely, obviously. Classics, my favourite class. And, Breon's updates are ridiculous. Like Aiden was saying, he's in really good condition and whatnot. But I think the judges have already kind of stated that, well, by the way they went last year, that they want the taller, wider structure, the small waist, the flaring quads, the big lats. Breon, he's going to smoke Chris from behind again. We all know that. But, like, the favourite classic pose, the side chest, the front double, I think Chris wins all of those, and the ab and thigh. So I see him repeating. I see Terence probably coming in third, or Alex, who beat him at the Arnold's earlier in the year. But other than that, Danny Union's been like top 6 the last couple of years, so he could sneak into that top 5. I think the hype around Logan Franklin's just that bit of hype, because I think when he stands next to guys like Chris and Breon with a bit more muscle, he's going to look quite thin. But he's got the structure to do it in a couple of years, maybe. Other than that, I like Wesley Visses, David Hoffman. There are a couple of names that have been top 10 a few times. And I mean, if Wesley can bring it, he does have that wide waist, but I mean, he's got the more Arnold old school look as well. So it'll be interesting to see if the judges reward him for that this year.
Nice. So looking like Chris. And I did hear some commentary about perhaps Breon moving in or back into the 212. So we'll see. I guess if he comes bridesmaid again, that may help his decision. Right. So the 212 lineup. Again, fairly big class. Kamal, Derek, Sean Clarita, David Henry, Hyde. I hadn't heard much about Hyde, but Hedy, he's going to be back in there. Angel Calderon is obviously he's on fire at the moment. His form, he's won his last 2, I think, over in Europe. Guy Sisternino, George Peterson from the back. That guy's back, I reckon, fits it with the heavyweights all day. Let's have a look at some of these guys, eh? So, Kamal Alghani, I hope I said that right. Kamal, I heard today, was 50 years old. But so he's between him and Dexter, pretty unbelievable, really. But he's looking pretty good in this latest. Not a lot of him, so it's a bit of guesswork there. The other man that everyone's talking about, obviously, Derek Lunsford. Derek, he's looking fucking big, but whether he can really nail that condition, who knows? It's kind of hard without the updates that we see from a lot of athletes, but it seems to be a bit less so with these guys. Sean Clarita, Guy Sisternino, George Peterson's back. Oh, I just can't get over that. His back is nuts. Got Angel Calderon Frias over there, and he's just peeled to bits in his last 2 shows. As I say, Hedy, haven't seen anything of him. And David Henry. So David Henry's been around since a long time. So it'll be interesting to see how they all shape up on the day. 212 thoughts, Aiden?
It's probably the class I follow the least, but I have to say, it's probably going to be between Kamal and Derek. But one guy I would love to see right up there is George Peterson. Man, I've got a thing for him, man, like that back. And just when he first came out and said he's going to 212 after being in Classic, I was stoked, and I thought that was a real cool move for him. And I just hope he's up top 3, man, and even I'd love to see him second or right up there. But I think it will be. I don't know how Derek's going to get down to the weight. I've seen photos and updates from him the other day, and I don't even understand how that becomes 212. He's looking huge, mate. But no, I think between those two, it'll be cool to see George way up there as well.
Andrew, thoughts on 212s?
Yeah, I think Kamal will probably take it again. As I say, Derek has probably struggled with the condition, dropping probably too much body weight. But George, I reckon, will be battling there up there as well, because his back's just, it's outstanding, really. As you said, it's more like a heavyweights than a 212. So yeah, that's my top three. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't follow the 212 very much either, so I'm pretty ignorant on this one. So I would say, though, that if you want to be the champ, you've got to beat the champ. And so I'll go with Kamal again. Someone kind of comes in and blows him away, they'll give it to him.
Yeah, I saw some updates of Kamal today, and he's been training with Flex Lewis in America, and he's looking really good. Derek, again, like you guys were saying, he's just a little bit soft from the front the last couple of years. Like, turn around and that back double's amazing. He's got the best structure out of the lot, in my opinion. Yeah, George, that back double, yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, we've been waiting for him to move up from Classic for a couple of years, so that's an exciting part of the 212 lineup. Sean Clarita, like, working with Matt Jansen last year, he came in absolutely peeled. I thought he could have probably got second over Derek last year even. And then, like you said about Hiddy, with Iris Cole prepping for the Miss Olympia again, that might be the added motivation, training with the wife. Like, she's a 10-time Olympia champion. She's pushing for 11. That's definitely going to push you in the gym a bit.
Yeah, man. I think with both those classes, having someone that's sort of who was a clear winner last year. I mean, I know it was tight in the Classic, but to beat someone who's a reigning champ, you don't have to come in close. You've got to convincingly win. So I think I'm siding with you guys on that. Right, I will bring up the open men's, Right, open men's. So we've got the lineup there. We've got Brandon Curry, obviously coming back as the defending champion. Hardy, and there's a lot of people that thought Hardy could have won it last year, including myself. Roelli, who's just looking insanely big, and it's always the question: can he bring it in and get those legs tight? Juan Morel, Aiden Vaillant, who we've seen some good updates from. Antoine, Akim, who, in my opinion, is what a bodybuilder should look like. Akim Williams, nice guy too, really nice guy. Justin Rodriguez coming off that win this year. Obviously, Rami is he's a question mark. If he nails it, and that's a question every year. William Bonac, I heard Jay Cutler describe him as being very like a shorter version of Phil Heath, and William Bonac always nails his condition, so he's going to be right up there. Dexter, I think he must be called the Blade because he's a vampire. That guy, man, it just gets better and better, and he's got those legs. He nailed them last year, so that's going to be real interesting. Phil Heath, the question on everyone's mind is if Phil comes in as Phil did when he was at his peak, he will walk the show. But if he doesn't and his guts is not there, it's questionable where he'll end up. Hunter Labrada, obviously, he come off as winning his debut, and apparently has made some really good improvements. Lee Sung Chul, haven't seen a lot of. Lucas, he's been around. I see he was. I looked flicking through my magazine from 2016 and didn't realise he was actually in the 216. So he's there as well. Max Charles, Regan Grimes. Unfortunately, we've lost James Hollingshead, Raphael. Flex Lewis would have been amazing to see Flex there, and I see he's just had a stem cell treatment, so be interesting to see how it goes next year. Cedric out obviously with an injury, and Nathan Deasher not competing this year. So Brandon, the latest photos of Brandon, wow, amazing. I think Brandon at 100 and Phil at 100 will just be an amazing comparison. William Bonac, as I said, always brings it. Hardy, really, really interested to see how he comes in this year. The few photos I have seen, looking amazing. Dexter, I haven't seen a lot of recently. I'm not sure if I've just missed the update photos or he hasn't been doing a lot, but interested to see how he goes. His swan song this year, obviously, yeah, it's amazing to see a guy that compete in that many shows, and with his history and the amount of wins he's had in the Arnold Classics, etc. He's definitely going to be in the talking point for that top 6. Roelli, just ridiculous. Roelli is just absolutely humongous at the moment, but again, you know, can he bring? And I think everyone's waiting to see Roelli at his best, and to hold that condition throughout the show. The gift, what do you say? Not a lot I can say, really. Phil Heath is Phil Heath, and I think if Phil Heath nails it, then the show's his. But after a year off, will he be fresher? Who knows? We'll see. Juan Morel, Hunter Labrada, he's posted a ton of update pics, so we can kind of have a fairly good gauge of what Hunter's going to look like. Ian Vaillant also pretty prolific on his social media, and with Patrick posting regularly, we're seeing him, and he certainly looks even better than he did when he won the recent show, Chicago, I think it was. Was it Chicago or New York? New York. Lee Sung Chul, as I said, haven't seen a lot of him. Anton, so really cool to see this guy getting in on the Olympia stage after that win. Think he might get a bit outsized, my personal opinion, but we'll see. Lucas seems to do pretty well. Just one of those guys that's, you know, just looks like a hard worker. Not outstanding in any particular area that I've identified, but just all round very, very good bodybuilder, complete bodybuilder. Akim the Beast, I couldn't find the latest photos of him, but as I said, you know, when it comes to mass, I don't know where he's going to put any more mass on. He's absolutely massive. Max Charles looked really good in his recent show, so interesting to see what he brings. Justin Rodriguez is about as wide as you can get. Absolute monster. Might get a bit, you know, seems to get let down because his shoulders are so wide. I mean, the guy's got big legs, but, you know, they're a bit overpowered sometimes by the sheer width of the man. And Regan Grimes, that's about 3.5 weeks out, so I don't quite know what we're going to see from Regan. We'll see, I guess. Time will tell. And the man everyone wants to see between him and Roelli, you know, if both of these guys can get in shape, it's going to shake things up majorly. So interesting to see. So that's our open men's. Thoughts on the open men's, your top 6, Aiden, with comments?
For me to try and make it a bit easier for myself, I'm just going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and just assume they're all going to come in at their best. I think kind of just to make it a bit easier. And I think if they all bring it, I've definitely got Phil at number 1. Like much as I think like Brandon looks amazing, but just if Phil brings it, man, I think he's got it, you know, Phil. So Phil number 1, I'll go Brandon number 2. Number 3, I'm going to go Hardy. 4th place, I'll go Rami. 5th, I'll go Bonek. And then 6th place, I was tossing up between Rowley and Dexter, but I just watched like an hour ago the latest Nick Strength and Power, and Rowley is looking unreal. So I've got to give him number 6, I think. If I could have any number 6, I'd love to see like Hunter Labrada right up there. I think he's got an amazing body, and like from his updates and just the improvement he's made just from his last show to now, it'd be cool to see him up there. But there's just so many heavy hitters. But I think yeah, it's definitely my top 6: Phil, Brandon, Hardy, Rami, Bonek, and then Rowley. But I think out of all that, to be fair, even the only one I could see potentially that I would take away from that if they come in might be Rami's position would change. But apart from that, man, I think that's where I've got them. I think.
Cool. Andrew, where are you at?
Not much different really, but yeah, I think Phil, if he can control his midsection, you know, without a doubt, he's he's got all the gifts to take it, and then Brandon, not far behind, and then I've got Hardy. I was there last year at the Olympia, and his condition was just, they were a huge standout. I thought he could have easily been second, possibly even first. And then I've got William. and then it's a toss between Big Ramy and Rolly. I just saw the recent Rolly updates with in the mirror.
Yeah.
Whether that's current. I'm not too sure if that's current or not. I'm assuming it is. Looking pretty like granite. So if he can bring it, yeah, I think he'll nudge Big Ramy out on his condition. Yeah. So, and yeah, the big question mark is really Ramy. He could jump, from 6th to 1st, depending on his condition, really. But yeah, that's really my top 6. But yeah, we'll all 2 weeks to go, so we'll we'll get to watch. Yeah.
Right, Mike, what are you calling?
I went through all these guys and kind of gave them a range. I could see this guy anywhere between sort of 3rd and 7th. I could see this guy anywhere between Ramy anywhere between 1st and 10th. So it's a pretty wide range of where he might come in. I'm making the assumption that either the time off for Phil or the midsection will kind of hold him back a little bit, and therefore I've got Brandon in 1st and Phil in 2nd. I've got Hardy in 3rd, just like you guys. Then I went Bonac. Then I've got Ramy down there because the size is too much to go past. If he gets any sort of decent conditioning, he's got to be in. Then I've got Dexter as the sort of, what do you call it, the gift, I guess, of, it's your last one, we'll give you a couple of extra places, which pushes Rolly out of the top 6. Yeah,
cool. Darren, where are we at?
Like everyone else is saying, there's a wide range of where everyone can fall, but I'll definitely go. Phil's definitely going to win. I think he's not going to come back if his gut's not fixed, and like just the level of separation he has through his legs compared to Brandon is. And if you go shot by shot, really, like front double, I think Brandon will probably take. Same with the front lat spread, and then Phil will take both side shots. The back double, Brandon might take the lat spread because he's wider. Ab and thigh, Brandon, most muscular Phil. I just think, yeah, like Phil's going to be hungry for this. Everyone can tell what his personality is, and he ain't coming back unless he's 100%. So, yeah, we'll go Phil, Brandon. I'm going to go Rolly 3rd. I was at the Arnold Classic Australia 2018, the one time he nailed it. And honestly, it was the most incredible thing I'd seen in my life. When he came out, hit that front relax with the vacuum, I was like, yeah, that was, and Dexter and William were both at that show and he just stood out like anything. So I'm going to go Rolly 3rd, Hardy 4th, and then William 5th, which will probably have, whoever I missed out, Ramy 6th.
Right, I'm going to do some quick maths here. So it's
Are you giving yours note or?
No, mate. No way.
I can give a different top 6 on the show on Wednesday with the pros, right?
Yeah.
Two chances of getting it right.
So what have we got? Right, my math says it. So, doing the bodybuilder maths, the consensus, the average. We're looking at Ramy and Roelli tied in 5th. So I think everyone was a bit not sure where that was going to sit. So Ramy and Roelli battling for that 5th spot. 4th place, we've got William Bonac. 3rd place, we've got Hardy. 2nd place, Brandon, and 1st, Phil. So time will tell, and we'll see what the pros have to say and see how we stack up. Hey, I think there's a couple of other really interesting battles there. So, the names that we were throwing around there, including Dexter, who didn't make our top 6. So those names are pretty well established at the top of the standings in terms of, our elite athletes. But then we've sort of got that second tier of guys that, have all won, major international shows. You've got Hunter, you've got Ian, you've got Justin, Lucas, etc. Which, what are the battles that you're looking, what are the battles that you think are going to be interesting coming up this year at the Olympia? Aiden, you want to kick off? Have you got any particulars that you're following that you think are going to be a really good showdown?
I think it'll be cool to see Ian and Hunter go at it again. Obviously, they've got that bit of redemption there for Ian. I think those two. And I'm looking at the lineups. I'd say they'll probably get, placed together, and you will get to see that, which will be pretty cool. But I think what'll be cool as well is because that kind of top 5, top 6 is so stacked, it's going to push some of those guys out to have to stand next to those guys. So it'll be cool to see like a Hunter and an Ian against someone like potentially Dexter or someone, just to see how they compare to those guys as well. So it's going to be quite cool for the guy that kind of is at the top of the second tier, whatever you want to call it, to see how close they are to that top group. So I think that's going to be quite exciting. Even that second call out, like that's going to be a massive battle as well, which will be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, it'd be an opportunity of a lifetime, really, isn't it? For these guys to get up there. Akim Williams, another one. Max Charles, I've sort of forgotten, but remembering that they're there and they're very quality, bodybuilders in their own right. Any particular ones that you're looking at, Andrew?
Yeah, I've got, as I say, after the top 6, I've got, even like Dexter could even flip into that top 6, but Dexter and then Akim Williams, just because the size of the guy, like he's going to dwarf quite a few guys on there. And then really flipping between Justin, Hunter, and Ian, really. Those three could interchange. And as I said, it'd be a good battle to have those three, amongst, Dexter, Akim. And then, we've also got Max Charles, Juan Morel. That beyond 6 is going to be, really, it could go anyway, really,
It's almost...
it all comes to the condition, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, even if we took the top 6 out of the competition, I'd still be excited to see the next 6 athletes down battle it out, because there's some real good battles there. And I think, obviously the Hunter and Ian Villiers is one that's being very closely watched, not just because it's redemption, but they have very, they share some of the same strengths. So that's going to be a real interesting one. They're both improved from the photos I've seen, so be interesting.
Yeah.
Mike,
I think, I'd probably go with, between the two, I'd probably go with Hunter over Ian. That's my pick. If those battle, I think Hunter will still be there.
I think Ian can take him, but that's my opinion. Mike, what are your thoughts about some of the other battles that are coming up?
Yeah, that was the one I was really looking for too, Hunter and Ian. I was looking up today, looking for some stats, and it was I struggled to try to just a quick look. We couldn't find height and weight for Ian. So, but he's got a really big structure, and I'm guessing that he's good 2 or 3 inches taller than Hunter. I haven't seen him together on stage. That ability that Hunter won. But I think at this stage, the updates we've seen, Ian looks a lot bigger, a lot wider, a lot fuller. Hunter looks just shredded and dry and hard already. But I think Hunter will get there. He's working with Patrick too, I understand, so he'll come in pretty tight.
So you mean
I think Hunter.
Ian's working with Patrick?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And I think, sorry, I should have clarified that. And I think, I think Hunter will. I think Ian will be able to take Hunter as long as he gets his condition right. But that's like that with all these battles, right? As long as they get the condition right. As you say, that second lot of 6, the 7 to 12, it's a really good watch. That second call out. There's a lot of good guys who can shuffle around quite a bit. So I'm not so much looking for the battles. I'm looking to see the progress that they've made. I want to see how Regan Grimes stacks up, how he's managed to improve over the last 6 weeks or so. Done a lot of shows in a row, and he seemed to get better and better each time. Long term, he obviously needs a lot more size and come up from Classic. But he's one to kind of watch the improvement over time. Still a young guy. It's just looking to see the improvement on these guys.
Cool, man. Darren, what's your points of interest?
Oh, the biggest disappointment, I think, is James not being there, because I honestly see him competing with the top 5 guys now. The amount of improvements he's made this year is, you know, ridiculous. How dense he is, how lean he gets. Like I was talking about that conditioning that Phil brings that none of the other guys seem to have brought last year. James has consistently done that this year. And also, you know, some of those bodybuilders, they probably are a bit more gifted and you don't hear anything from them, and the prep's probably a little bit easier. You know, like James is a real bodybuilder. You know, he's dying day in, day out. And I just think most amateurs can relate to that a lot more. And yeah, but Ian and Hunter will be awesome as well. I also think Ian's going to beat Hunter, just the width. I mean, Steve Cooklow got sixth last year. So they similar frame, you know, structure. And I think Ian would easily beat Steve with the improvements he's made over the last year. And I think Hunter would beat Steve as well. So also, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Regan Grimes. Like, everyone's talked him up as a future Mr. Olympia just on his structure, I guess. So it'll be cool to see him up there after doing it in the Classic. Akim, again, if he can bring his conditioning. And I haven't seen any updates of his back shots, which are usually the ones people talk about letting them down. So it'll be interesting. I'll probably have him 10th.
Cool. Well, we'll all see in 2 weeks. So we'll look forward to that. And I'm sure there's going to be a few Olympia parties going on.
Wait, you reckon if Phil wins, he'll go again next year?
Yeah, for sure.
For
Want to
sure.
be ninth. Want to be
Nine,
on
yeah.
top, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that'll be interesting to see if he announces his retirement or if he announces if he's going to go again if he wins.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, his motivations, you know, must be purely being a bodybuilder, because from a business perspective, he's got no, or, you know, financial perspective, there's no real value in him competing. So his you know, his heart's probably in it for the reasons that it was way back when. So if he's got that hunger to be the best, and like he has, you know, and he makes no bones about it, you know, he may go for that, you know, till he just cements himself as the most capped, you know, the most.
We talked about the you know, having to be the champ, you've got to beat the champ. Where does that sit when you've got the returning champ and the 7-time returning champ from, you know, 2-3 years ago? So which way do the judges kind of lean their allegiances?
$1 million question.
Hopefully they're completely impartial.
You're
Also,
right.
like Kai signing with Redcon, what does that mean? He's going to have to compete, or they're going to tell him to at least announce his retirement or something with that contract? Because everyone's been talking about there's a second announcement coming. So if Phil wins and he decides to go again, it'd be cool to see them go at it again next year.
How good would that be? And the announcement by Redcon, that kind of interview that they did, sort of alluded to the fact that that Kai may be competing again in 2021. So, fuck, I'd love to see Phil and Kai get on stage again. You know,
And then see what happens with Roden's court case and all that. It'd be good, you know, like if everyone was up there again. I mean, we say this every year, and Kai will probably just go and talk about some mystery tree or something, you know, whatever he wants to talk about. But yeah, exciting times, eh?
Yeah, well, you know, you throw Flex Lewis in there again as well next
true.
year. You know, so I mean, I think, you know, it's been a strange year, but the lineup this year has brought some real excitement. And you know, when you look
especially after the year we had last year, where it was a little bit, you know, below par.
Yeah, and take nothing away from Brandon, but you know, it would be nice. I mean, for Brandon to win this one, if he could win this one, that would be a real way to quieten the naysayers, I guess. So all the motivation in the world there. So.
Oh, boys! Also, the live stream, I think there's like a discount if you order it in the next few days. Otherwise, it's like another $20 or something.
Cool.
I just saw a thing on Instagram before.
Nice. We better get on to that one.
Should we get on and commentate it? The live commentary.
Yeah, hard.
I'll be watching it, and no one's allowed to talk. It's Olympia. Anyway, it's our Super Bowl, so you know we'll treat it as such. So, hey, want to thank you guys. It's been really cool having you on, and we'll get you guys on again at some stage soon. And I know Andrew, that new fit and those types of things have been popping up, and I know you're starting to go down that pathway.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's right here, mate.
Ooh, jealous. Right, but we will talk about that at some stage soon, because I know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I just need some a little bit more time on it. Yeah, but it's looking good. Yeah.
Cool.
I need to get to the gym first. The gyms are just open, so yeah.
Nice. You'll have to keep us updated too with what the scene's like over in Melbourne at the moment, because like Melbourne's always been a stronghold of bodybuilding in Australia, along with the Gold Coast, etc. But you know, it'll be interesting. I know Tony, you know, has been pretty vocal about the gyms being closed, and those businesses have really struggled. So keep us updated on that one.
Yeah, we'll do.
Radio guys, thanks very much, and we'll touch base later on, people.
Cheers, bro.
Good.